If you're a beginner artist, maybe you've done this for a few months or even a few years, there comes a point where you ask yourself, I wonder if my art is good enough to sell. Maybe you haven't exhibited your art yet, maybe you've only posted pictures of it online, and we all know how discouraging that can be. You think your art is pretty good, but would anyone actually buy it? Should you even try to sell it yet, or should you wait? Should you take the risk to prepare an exhibition or start an online shop? How do you know you are ready to start selling your work, if that's what you want to do? That's what I want to talk about in this video and share my insights and experiences after having done this professionally for about 5 years now and have started selling my work consistently. So this summer, I did 3 solo exhibitions over the course of just 1.5 months. It was very intense, very exhausting, a lot of fun, and it actually went pretty well. I sold the most art I've ever sold before. And it was eye-opening in many ways because it really hammered home some things for me that I want to share with you in this video. Figuring out if your art is good enough to sell is tricky because of a number of reasons. And that first reason is that art is inherently subjective, right? People have different tastes in art. You might think your art is really good, but maybe other people don't just yet. Or reversely, you might not be happy with your art at all, but other people seem to really enjoy it. So who's right? No one knows because it's very subjective. What is considered good art is highly individual. We are also not necessarily the best judges of our own art. I've realized that now, 5 years into this journey, that I'm a really poor judge of my own art. I don't know how many times I've looked at a finished painting and thought, yes, I nailed that one. Surely it will sell, right? And then no one barely even looks at it. And the other way around, I've made art that I just think looks hideous. I almost don't want to include it in a collection or an exhibition. And then that's the first piece that sells. Either way, I'm dumbstruck. Like, I'm a poor judge of my own art. All I see most of the time are all of the little mistakes, all of the things that I almost got right. I am the one with the reference photo. I am the one with the vision in my head for what this painting could be. The viewer doesn't have that. They come to my art with fresh eyes and their own idea of what good art is, their own preferences, their own associations. I have no idea what someone else might see and read into my painting. In my experience, most of us tend to find ourselves in one of 2 different states at any particular time. Either we are satisfied with our art and wonder why no one is buying it, or we feel that our art isn't good enough yet, we're reluctant to show it to people, we undercharge for our work, and are kind of shocked when people actually show interest in it or want to buy it. Which state I am in fluctuates wildly. I can be in one state one day and feel like I'm on top of the world and everything I do just comes out really amazing, and then the other day or for weeks on end I just feel like I can't get anything right and everything I make is absolute trash. Is it the truth, or is it just my internal state? I don't know. I realized that the way I feel about my art matters a lot less than I thought in the beginning, and all that matters is how other people feel about my art. And the only way to know that is to show my art to people and see how they respond. And the only way to know if my art will actually sell is to actually put it up for sale. The rest is out of my hands. And that is why painting to sell can be such a joy killer, right? Because you will never be able to fully predict whether or not something will sell. The only things you have control over is the quality of your work and how many people you get it in front of. The rest is out of your control. And trying to control something that we actually don't have control over is a recipe for burnout and depression. If you are wondering if your art is good enough to sell, I would ask myself these questions. Number 1, have you shown your art to people? Have you shown it to enough people? And have you shown it in the real world, the way analog physical art is meant to be experienced? It's not meant to be experienced in a small screen, scrolling on social media in this crazy, wild, distracting environment. That's not where art lives. Art lives in people's homes, it lives in galleries and shows. It's supposed to be experienced in the real world. That's how people can really get a sense of your work. So I would ask myself those 3 things to begin with. And if you're not there yet, if you haven't really shown your art to a lot of people yet, you haven't exhibited it out in the real world, that is your first order of business. In order for the right person to discover and buy your work, you need to give them plenty of chances to do so. And that entails experimenting to find the best ways for you to get your art in front of the right people, which might take some time and experimentation because that will look different for everyone. For me, it's been about finding all of the little local venues where I can get my art in front of people on a consistent basis. And the second question is, have you shown your art to the right people? Meaning you've spent some time thinking about who the ideal collector of your art actually is, why they would be excited about your art, why it's meaningful to them. Maybe they share the same values or interests or experiences as you, and that's why your work has deep meaning for them. This person might not be who you initially think it is. That was the case for me. I used to think that I had to get my art out into fancy galleries and juried shows, and that I needed to reach this kind of general art crowd. And the more I have exhibited my work, the more I've realized that actually the people who do buy my work, they are just like-minded people, and they all come from all walks of life, but we do share a passion for nature and animals and birds. So that really allowed me to start thinking in a different way about finding my ideal collectors. Like, I'm not trying to reach the general art crowd. I'm trying to reach my people. They are maybe hikers, they have houses out on the countryside, they love birds, maybe they're bird watchers. Making this list of traits is what allowed me to actually find the best places for me to show my art and the best places to do PR and build my audience. So I can't state enough how important that this is. And it might be really difficult when you're just starting out. There's no rush about that. You also need to grow into your own as an artist and discover your thing and your style, and that might entail some experimentation. It might take you time to get there. But once you have that, once you know your identity as an artist, the next step is to really think about the identity of your ideal collector. Your ideal collectors might not be who you initially think it is, and that is completely understandable. I used to struggle with that as well. I think we all do as artists. And I offer one-on-one coaching for this exact reason, because I know how blind you can be to your own brand as an artist and the value of your work and why it's valuable to people and who your actual ideal audience might be. So if you need some help in this department, I can help you with this, and you can read more about my coaching in the link below in the description. So the next question to ask yourself, if you have done all of these things, you have shown your art to people, you've shown it to many people over time, you have exhibited it out in the real world, and you have a good idea of who your ideal audience is, who your ideal collector is. Has anyone actually asked you about purchasing one of your artworks? Have they asked about the price or given any other indication that they might actually be interested in buying it? If they have, then you already have your answer. You likely are ready to start selling your work, and all you have to do is keep going. Build your body of work, build your skill, improve your craft, and keep showing your art to as many people as possible. And the better you get at this, the more art you will sell. It will just keep compounding. And if you haven't gotten questions like that yet, or if you have tried selling your art but it just hasn't been going very well, there are a number of possible explanations for this. And the first one is you just might not be ready yet. Your art isn't polished enough. You haven't really found your thing, your style. You haven't built a large and cohesive enough body of work yet. You're still in the exploration phase of your journey, and that is okay. We all start from there. Another reason might be that the right person just didn't see it at this time. They might at a later time. Or the right person saw it, but they couldn't afford it at this time, or it just wasn't the right time for them, or not enough people saw it at this time, or the timing was just not right for any other number of reasons that you might not even know about. There are many possible reasons why your art might not sell. Don't give up on your art just because it doesn't sell the first time. Showing your art is always worth it, regardless of the sales results, because you never know what it might lead to later on. Not everyone buys a piece the first time they come across you or your work. For some people, it takes a little bit longer. They want to get to know you, they want to see more of your work, but you still need to sow the first seed by showing up and sharing your work regularly with people. Some pieces might never sell, and we might never know why, and we might still really love those artworks. I have artwork like that I don't even want to sell because I made them for me, and I don't think anyone else is going to appreciate them as much as I do. Just because your art doesn't sell, it doesn't mean it isn't good art. Good art and sellable art aren't mutually exclusive. Have you ever strolled through a gallery or an art market or whatever it might be and looked at some of the pieces that apparently other artists are selling and thought to yourself, wow, if they can sell that, then I should be able to sell my work because it's at least as good as theirs, right? And the same goes for these juried art shows that you kind of pay a small fee to submit your art and then you're rejected. And then later on you see like the other pieces that were actually accepted and you wonder if there's something wrong with your eyes or maybe something wrong with the jury's eyes. What do these artists have that you don't? Why is their work worth displaying and yours is not? Why is their work selling and yours is not? The answer is no one knows, because art is highly subjective, highly individual, highly illogical, highly contextual. Not all good art sells, and not all art that sells is actually good, at least in your own opinion. This is a fact that we have to make peace with as artists and not let it discourage us. In order to build a long-term successful career as an artist, we have to not only get really good at our craft, we also have to become good spokespeople for our art. We need to get over our fear of being seen and judged. We need to practice talking about our art. We need to find the best ways for us to get our work in front of the right people. And we need the stamina to keep going long enough to actually gain traction. Not all artists are prepared to do this, and that is completely fine. Enjoying a painting practice is one thing. Building a painting business is a whole other thing, and it's entirely optional. And even if you do want to make art your career, there are many ways to do that. You don't have to necessarily sell your original paintings if that's not what you want to do. There are other ways to earn an income as an artist. It still allows you to make art for a living. You could sell prints or products with your art on them, but keep all of the originals to yourself. You could license your work to companies. You could teach and create online classes or hold retreats. You can be an art entertainer on social media. They all allow you to earn a living from your art without having to put a price tag on your paintings and worrying about whether they will sell or not. And you just might find that you enjoy these activities more than doing exhibitions or releasing collections. You're still as much of a real artist regardless. So, to summarize, the only way to know for sure if your art is ready to be sold, if it's good enough to sell, is to actually start putting it up for sale. To tell people that it's available, to put a price tag on it, get it in front of as many people as possible, ideally the right people for your work, and ideally out in the real world where people can experience it in the flesh. There is no harm in trying to sell your work and then end up not selling it. That's how all of us begin. Don't get discouraged by it. Just keep going. Keep developing your craft. Keep building your body of work. Experiment with different subjects or mediums or styles. The time will come when that first person asks about buying your work. You will make that first sale at some point, and then your second and your third. And with each new sale, your confidence will grow and you will get valuable insights about what seems to resonate with people about your work, why they buy your work, what people seem to like more than other things. If you want more guidance and help in getting your art business off the ground, I offer one-on-one coaching. It's via voice message and chat. It's very relaxed, very introvert friendly, flexible, and you can read more about that in the link in the description. I hope this video has given you some clarity and maybe some good jumping off points if you are still at this stage in your art journey. If you have any questions, let me know below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.